I was in Mark 5:21 all the way to 43. I'm going to try and condense this as much as possible. You have Jesus, and at this point in Mark, he's got crowds of people following him around. So this man Jairus, he was one of the synagogue rulers. This is a man who has status, knows theology, and he falls at Jesus' feet. He basically says that his daughter is dying. Please come. Jesus answers his plea immediate. So they start walking. They don't just start walking in a hurry to his daughter. They're walking slowly because remember, Jesus is surrounded by people and these people are following him wherever he's going. So he's having to push his way through crowds. As they're walking, in this large crowd comes a woman. This woman, she's been bleeding for 12 years, meaning that she has been dubbed as unclean. Jewish law states that when a woman is bleeding, she is not clean. So she has been excluded from society. On verse 26, it states she had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors, and she had spent all that she had. So she came up behind him, it says, in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt it in her body. That gives me chills. That she was freed from her suffering by complete faith. That she didn't even have to verbalize it. That she didn't even have to say it. But also, there is a fear in her, because now she's not only touching someone, but she's touching someone who was very clearly anointed. I want to bring it back real quick and continue to give context on Jairus. So this is a father who knows his daughter is dying, not later, not slowly, right now. And he is just trying to get Jesus to his house so he can save his daughter. And in the middle of this crowd, where everybody's surrounding him, making that process very slow, Jesus stops. So imagine his panic. Once Jesus realized that power had gone out from him, he turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? Do you really think that Jesus did not know who touched his cloak? Trembling with fear, she falls at his feet, and she told him the whole truth. He then says to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. He's still speaking at this point. Some men from the house of Jairus, they come over, and these men tell Jairus, your daughter is dead. They said, why bother the teacher anymore? Jairus' perspective, Jesus was coming. Then he stopped. And now, in his mind, it is too late. Ignoring what they said, Jesus told the synagogue ruler, don't be afraid, just believe. So at this point, Jesus doesn't let anybody else follow him. He only let Peter, James, and John follow him. And they came to the home of Jairus, and there's a whole lot of people. Jesus went in and said, why all this commotion? The child is not dead, but asleep. And then all of these people started laughing at him. And what he does next is that he clears the room. And again, this doesn't happen slowly, y'all. Think of where Jairus is at emotionally at this point. Not only did it take this long to get Jesus in, but now his daughter is dead, and now he's there. And they still take time to clear the house. After he put them all out, he took the mom and dad and his 3 disciples that were with him, and he asked them to take him to the little girl. When they did, he took her by the hand and said to her, little girl, I say to you, get up. Immediately, this little girl gets up, and Jesus tells her parents to give her something to eat. Now, this is where everything is just so incredible to me. Not only God's knowing, God's timing is absolutely perfect. You see it here in both of these 2 stories so freaking clearly. It was just wrecking me. Jesus told Jairus, don't be afraid, just believe. He didn't say believe harder. He didn't say believe faster. He said, keep trusting me even when my timeline breaks your heart, even when my timing isn't like yours. And so why does Jesus clear their house? And I think it's a really good reminder that sometimes you need to clear your house. And by house, I mean the people that are surrounding you, because these are people that turned to Jesus and laughed at him. He clears the room, not just of people, but of doubt, of mockery, and unbelief. Not every voice deserves influence in your life. Kick him out. This little girl was 12 years old. I forgot to mention that part because it actually comes at the end of the story when she is brought back to life. So you have 2 daughters, 12 years of bleeding versus 12 years of life. And then you have 2 different faiths. Bold reaching, where this woman just reaches to Jesus, quietly surrenders to him. And then you have desperate waiting, which is Jairus, just desperately waiting for Jesus to come and heal his daughter. But Jesus, he is never slow. Slowness, and I wrote it here somewhere because it's one of my favorite verses, 2 Peter 3:9, where it talks about how God is not slow in the way that we understand slowness. So one of my questions was, why did Jesus heal this woman and want to pull her out out of obscurity versus the young girl, because at the end of her coming back to life, he tells them not to tell anyone. Why one quiet and one boldly and loudly? Now remember, with the little girl, he's not undoing shame, he's undoing loss. The woman that had been bleeding for 12 years, she's been living in obscurity. She's been living with this label of uncleanliness. Whereas one, her death is a tragedy, not a stigma. The other one has been stigmatized. By calling her forward and naming her daughter, he is redeeming her. He is restoring her dignity and showing people out loud that she is no longer unclean. Y'all, Jesus knows when secrecy is mercy and when being seen is healing. None of these things were on accident. Jairus was probably weeping, begging Jesus to get to his house so quickly. Please hurry up on my time. I need this to happen right now. And Jesus is saying, I got this. Just believe. And even when Jairus thought it was too late, it wasn't, because Jesus said it wasn't. He hears the pleas that we have in our hearts. Remember, this woman just thought it. And he hears the pleas that we say out loud. He doesn't demand that we believe faster or harder. He says, keep trusting me. And he knows the way that he's going to answer and respond to our pleas. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and are staying warm. I hope you all enjoyed this one. And pray for discernment so that you can get out of it what you need to as well.